Welcome to Clixed Off, brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama. Check them out at luckydicecafé.com. And now for your hosts, Daniel Powell, Jason Alvey, Alex Coos, and Tyler Spees.
Hey everybody, welcome to Clixed Off today. This is your host Daniel Powell speaking. Just want to let everybody know that Clixed Off is brought to you by TrollingToad.com, the world's largest HeroClix retailer. Find HeroClix new and old on TrollingToad.com and use coupon code CLIXEDOFF for 5% off your HeroClix order. Merchant and pre-order items do not apply. If you like what you're listening to today on Clixed Off, check us out, patreon.com/ClixedOff. $1 and above gets entered into our monthly giveaways. $5 and above gets entered into our Discord server for exclusive, well, not exclusive, but HeroClix strategy and tactics discussions, coaching, and potential, if you sign up for that level, gameplay. So, and just a note, somebody reminded me of this one while I'm doing announcements. It is Lucky Dice Games now. I have not re-recorded the intro. So it is Lucky Dice Games. The intro still says Lucky Dice Cafe, but it's Lucky Dice Games. So still Howard Store. The intro should probably just say, yo, check out Howard's stuff, yo.
Wasn't it Lucky Dice Games years ago?
Yes, that's what it was before. Yeah. When it was just eBay. So
yeah.
And with that, joining me tonight is Jason. Neither one of us can find some of our shit, Alvey.
Totally unprepared and unorganized. Yeah. I'm ashamed.
Yeah, tell me about it. And then we have Alex. Give us a quick update on Avengers for Worlds Coos.
Yeah. Like right now, or you just
quick?
Yeah. Right now, go.
Yes.
Promising.
Perfect. And joining us as a very special guest tonight is Emily. I forgot to ask her how to pronounce her last name again, but I think I'm going to get it right. Your two-time Canadian national champion, Roet.
You got it right.
Yeah. Go me.
Hi.
Welcome back. You came on when you won last time, right?
I sure did.
Okay, good.
We only accept nationals winners on this podcast.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's a good thing we host them.
Yeah. That's for sure. That's the only way I'm getting on this podcast.
Oh, man. So, today was a little bit impromptu based on availability. So we're recording this Wednesday, August 21st, 2024. And if we didn't record with Emily tonight, we've got real life clicks tomorrow. We're traveling to Jay's on Friday, and we're playing in Jay's on Saturday. That is Jason and I. So we didn't want to have an extended period of time where we're not talking to Emily. So so we just got some questions for Emily. We're going to talk about the meta coming up this weekend. Because I think Jay's event's coming up, and the Highlander event is coming up. Are any of the other ones happening this weekend?
The Atomic Comics might be happening this weekend.
It happened last.
Nationals.
No, Atomic Comics didn't happen last weekend. That was a different event.
Oh, that was another event?
Yeah, that was another. That was a pre-rules change 300 modern that they did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you say there was another nationals?
Yeah, Mexican nationals, and I think Brazil too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brazil and Mexico. And I think, so I've been talking to Marco, and I want to say Slavic Nats is this weekend. But I think they're not doing the map rules. I think they're
that's what I heard from Stefano. They're not doing the map rules. They're still using long and short map.
Yeah, maybe there's two of them. Maybe Stefano's going to one in 2 weeks, and Marco's going to the other one this upcoming weekend, like in 2 days.
Is it because they just don't have the bigger maps?
No, the smaller maps, you mean?
Or smaller maps, yeah.
They said that WizKids just never made an announcement that it was for their nationals, any of those rules.
Okay, well that doesn't matter. I think the bigger thing is, if the reason isn't, like, if the reason's because there's not enough small maps, like they don't, the newer sets didn't make it to them, so maybe the availability of all the small maps, there's just not enough. Because remember, it's from Spider-Man, yeah, I guess. Like, maybe they just don't have enough. But if it's just, WizKids didn't say to them, I feel like that's a little kind of a cop-out. I mean,
that's what he told me. Like,
WizKids didn't announce it for Canada either. Canada made the decision to follow what US was doing.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Just like building up to Worlds, it's like you're not preparing your local meta. But we don't know the exact reason, so I won't.
I mean, WizKids should have just said it was for everybody, so everybody had one rule set.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Next Phase just made it to Italy, so.
Well, good Next Phase made it to Italy.
Yeah.
So
that's all they've been hiding in a warehouse in Europe all this time. Who knew?
Yeah, I shared their video where they pulled 2 Kevins from boosters. They have been found in the wild, and I talked to those guys, and I always appreciate the detractors like that. Just something, I know the detractors listen to the show, but like, and we're detractors a lot of the time. I'll admit that too. But the quote here was, I'm not going to mention his name, but they're sending the fixed boosters to their preferred media partners. Not surprising. Well, I talked to those guys, and they just got their Next Phase shipment in. That's it. Like, it wasn't from WizKids. It was just their shipment.
Where did he get the Jurassic booster? I saw a Jurassic booster. I thought in the
Pre-releases are starting today.
But they got that at the same time they got Next Phase.
I would appear so. That's my understanding. Well, no, they got their. Did they open the Jurassic booster on stream? I don't know.
No, I didn't see that. I just saw like one sitting there.
It could also have been their prizing for nationals too.
Perhaps.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, to that one guy's point, my only thought is, well, maybe they are finally getting Next Phase, and it's boosters that have been fixed. Not fixed as in purposefully to certain people, but I mean, it could be that they fixed them. I doubt it, but I suppose there is the realm of possibility that since they've caught the issue or found the issue, they've fixed some of the boosters, but I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point. Everyone's going to Worlds is going to get one.
Right.
Well, most of the people at Worlds.
Right. Yeah, us Gen Con folks, I got to crack at them first. Have to be on the wait list. So
yeah, so real quick, I could talk about that real fast for those that haven't seen the post from WizKids HeroClix. Basically, if you're attending Worlds between Wednesday and Saturday, you got to sign up at event registration with a photo ID while spots are remaining. Once available spots fill, any additional signups will add to a wait list. This is to get to Kevin's. Due to limited quantities and in interest of getting these figures to as many different people as possible, anyone who traded a Kevin at Gen Con will just go to the wait list because you've already got one, so you'll just be put to the wait list. On Saturday, between 4:30 and 5:30, so hopefully that's not like in the middle of Team Worlds or something.
On Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
It should be after Swiss is over.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping we don't have another Warp World Phoenix issue, right? Remember the store opened and people were still competing and they sold out of stuff before anyone could get over there?
That happened with Death Metal Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, you got to bring any Marvel HeroClix Next Phase Chase, both the figure and the card, and you trade it in for a Kevin, just like it was at Gen Con. They'll be available, limit one per person. They'll be available while supplies last. And then between 5:30 and 6:30, they'll process people at the wait list if there's still some available. And they did put the caveat, opportunity to trade 4 Kevin figures may be modified without notice on WizKid's sole discretion. Which they got to do that because they're probably going to be like, we've gotten too many Baron Zemos. We just can't keep taking all these Baron Zemos, guys.
It makes you wonder what they're going to do with all those.
I hope they just throw those in, man. Like, just throw all those chases somewhere. Like, if they're going to have them...
VR pricing.
Well, it's on Saturday, too. So, like, keep them for Sunday for when you're running out of prizing, right? Inevitably, they're going to run out of some con LEs. And while it is going to be crappy next phase chases, that's better than nothing. So...
Yeah. They all may wind up in a landfill. Who knows, right?
Or a dumpster, somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
All the
set up an Alliance warehouse like those APOCs, yeah.
Yeah. So, Emily, what chase are you turning in at Worlds?
I'm bringing a Steve because I already have a second one.
Steve.
Popular choice.
Man, I kind of would like Steve, though.
He does some neat things.
Well, I assume that
you could trade me for one.
Yeah, I'm sure that you could, trade another next phase chase to.
I don't have many. Is the unfortunate part. The only ones I have is Baron Zemo and the Wong Madison chase, and I want to keep the Wong Madison because that one's actually like interesting. But Zemo, I'm like, I'll get rid of Zemo. That's fine. Like, he could dance his way to the trash pile with the rest of the chases. So I don't know. I don't know if I like Steve enough to try to like throw away my chance at a Kevin. I do like Madison and Wong, so I really don't want to get rid of that one. So
yeah. Time to go get a next phase booster and see if you can pull a Steve then.
Or look for one of the heavy ones and find a She-Hulk chase.
Yeah, that's what I traded in. So, Jason, that reminds me, we got ours at Gen Con, but I guess we at least have to try to bring another chase just in case, right?
I don't know. I'm fresh out of next phase chases, except the good ones.
Yeah, I think I am too. So
I'm not that worried about it. Somebody else can have one. I've got mine.
When you say the good ones, you just mean the 3.
I mean the Egyptian gods.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you don't have any others?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I had Baron Zemo, and he went dancing out the door to get me a Kevin.
He went dancing. Yeah, my Hulk, She-Hulk extra went straight out the door.
Yep.
I wonder what is he going for currently, like Kevin?
Not much.
I can't imagine like too much.
I don't know.
Not as much as he once was.
Sure, but I mean, if he's still like a couple $100.
No,
I've definitely seen him for sub $200.
Yeah, I've tried to sell him for $175 for Zach, and he didn't go for that much.
Yeah, there was one on August 11th for $132, but that was a bid.
Yeah,
but some of the others, none have really sold because everyone's waiting for Worlds.
Yeah, I think so. All right. So let's talk a little bit more. Did we get any other Worlds announcements since we last recorded, other than the recording of the trade-in stuff?
No, we still don't know what the on sale is going to be.
Right.
Did we talk prizing?
I don't think we did, but I did have on the buy list. I did have something that one of our patrons brought up that I wanted to bring up for everyone that's going to Worlds. If you don't have Space Ghost yet, and they have Space Ghost for sale at Worlds, make sure to get one.
Why is that, Daniel?
Why? That's very cheesy, Alex, but I appreciate that.
I also am just genuinely curious of
the reason. He's almost as good as 2 porters for one figure.
Okay. Yeah. He is extremely playable post-retirement because porters retire.
They pretty much pushed him out, but now he kind of takes that slot for 20 points less.
Is it because of like the TK option?
Well, the double perplex he can do.
Mm-hmm.
He gives you opposing safeguard opposing probability control.
Yeah, because there's not going to be a lot more dice replacement post Worlds. At least not that I think of. There's probably something that I'm forgetting, but yeah, when he uses Perplex and targets a friendly character, that character has Safeguard opposing prob. So you can get that on 2 characters if he has no action tokens.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so that means it's insanely easy to set up.
And he can fight some too.
Yeah,
I got worried for a second. I had to look over to see if on my shelf if I have one, and I do.
I did, and I double checked today. I mean, to be honest, I double checked to make sure that I had one today too.
I've been sitting on him, waiting to play him at some point, and just never have.
And as of this,
I'm happy. I'm happy you're building them up because I have extras that I need to flip. So,
well, hold on to him because the stock is going up in a few months.
He's already expensive, Emily. So
yeah, I think he gets more expensive.
Yeah.
And at the time of this recording, we do not know what the exclusives for sale will be.
Yes.
No,
they have not posted that yet.
That
is correct.
My point of bringing it up, though, was, like, if they're selling him at Worlds and you don't have a Space Ghost, make sure to get a Space Ghost.
Mm-hmm. Solid advice.
So, all right. What were you going to say next? You were getting ready to say something else, Alex?
I mean, we could talk about Worlds. Do we want to start talking Worlds, or do we want to talk about Emily's stuff first?
Well, let's see. I mean, the World stuff is pretty straightforward, right?
So, the only thing I really wanted to talk about with Worlds and kind of get opinions of the group, because we've talked about it in chat, but I don't know if we've talked about it too much, is... So first off, for those that can't tell, this is the HeroClix World Championships. It is not like a WizKids World Championships. So last year, if you remember, there was no Dice Master, sadly, but there was some Onslaught stuff happening in the middle room. There's no Onslaught stuff here. It's just HeroClix, which is fine. A little sad, because I thought it was kind of nice on the last few days. There were a couple of HeroClix players that went over and was like, oh, Onslaught. And it's like, I thought it was perfectly fine there. But just HeroClix. And the schedule is pretty much the same as it was last year for the most part, where Pulp is on Thursday. Pulp is on Thursday. The team's sealed event is on Friday. And then the World Championship singles is on Saturday. They're going to do supercharged sealed events Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They've got some Jurassic Battle Royales is the plan. They're also doing some like 8-man Pulp events and like a Pulp team event too with Extreme Highlander. So there's a lot of different side events that sound interesting. The thing to talk about a little bit is pricing, because I've seen kind of both sides on the internet of like people think it's great or people think, man, this is worse than it was last year. So first is the Pulp World Championship, which actually is considered the Pulp World Championship. Remember last year, it was like tucked away in the side events section. Mm-hmm. This time they're like, oh yeah, no, it's an actual Pulp World Championship, guys. This time around, everyone that joins gets a Parademon, top 16 get a Brood, top 8 get a Masters of Time booster brick.
which is better than what the winner got last year.
Yeah. Remember, Pulp got like nothing last year, and that was a lot of. If I remember correctly, they had to bolster that prizing after the first go around because they showed all the prizing, and there's like a lot of X of Swords stuff, and we're like, yay, no, not good. And then they went back through and like, oh, here's a booster brick for the winner. Woo. Well, this time it's top 8 gets the Masters of Time booster brick, and all this prizing is cumulative. And they get the Cyclops, the new Connelly Cyclops. Top 4 gets Steppenwolf. Top 2 gets a Jurassic booster and a Calabac. And then the winner gets 2 Jurassic boosters, so total of 3 Jurassic boosters. And they should get the booster brick and the champion trophy. So, way better Pulp prizing, in my opinion, because top 8 now gets decent prizing. Mm-hmm. And that's cumulative.
Yeah.
So, super solid.
That's pretty cool.
Team Worlds isn't that different than before. Top 16 kind of gets a smorgasbord of the cons that are for sale or have been out for a while.
Yeah.
I won't bore you with all that. You can look it up. Top 8 does get the King Arthur, Old King Thor, Cyclops, Calabac. Top 4 gets Steppenwolf, and then this just says Masters of Jurassic booster. Yeah, top 4 gets a Jurassic booster. And these should be 1 copy of each listed item per player on the team. So these are times 3.
Yep.
Top 2 gets next phase retail chase boosters.
Times 2. 2 of them.
Times 2, so that would be 6. And then Deadpool Weapon X premium booster?
I think that's just the retail chase booster.
That's what I thought too. I don't know why they went premium, but sure. And then the winners get a 3 Masters of Time factory sets, which is super solid. Like, Masters of Time looks pretty sweet. And that's Team Worlds. So that's pretty solid. And then finally for singles, top 32 is where the prizing breakdown starts. After, the participation prize, you get a Brood, Captain America on a Pegasus, a Merman, Batman. Top 16, Cyclops.
Wait, is that just for, I didn't read. Is that just for participating?
No, that's
top
just
32.
a Parademon.
Oh, okay. Participation is just a Parademon. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Top 16, once again, this is all cumulative. Gets Cyclops, Iceman, Venom, God of Symbiotes, King Arthur. Top 8 gets a Jurassic booster, Calabac, Superman, and Gingerbread Man.
Which I just want to say on the Gingerbread Man, I did see that one, and I kind of chuckled as well. But the thing is like the only way to get those was buying $50 worth of product.
Yeah.
So like he's kind of silly, goofy, whatever. They probably didn't sell enough $50 product bundles, and that's why they're giving them away. But he's pretty dope.
Yeah, he's not bad. Top 4 gets the Deadpool Weapon X Premium Booster, the Next Phase Chase Booster, Steppenwolf, and Old King Thor. Second place gets a Deadpool Weapon X Factory Set, and a Masters of Time Booster Brick. And then first place, the winner, gets the Masters of Time Factory Set, Deadpool Weapon X Factory Set, and then the Designer figure, and a trophy.
Yeah, this time the Designer figure was there from the beginning. Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how difficult was that to just add this time? Now, I would say we went through the Team World Championships. It does look like no amount of hooping and hollering is going to get Designer figure back to Team Worlds, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. And in case anybody forgot, they are still doing the whole. You get 1 brick of You'll get 1 brick of Masters of Time, so 8 boosters and a Jurassic booster for Team Worlds. So it's how it's been for a couple years now, or was it just last year that they started?
No, 22. We also got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank goodness. I mean, I wouldn't think they would change, but just in case anyone was curious, still the same.
I'm okay with that. I really am like the having the brick of stuff.
Yeah, that's great. I wish they'd bring back Chase Prime sets. Those are missed.
Yeah.
Retail chase boosters aren't the same.
Yeah. And don't forget, they are doing like this new supercharged sealed format, which is if you haven't played in one at Worlds, it's $40 entry. You get 3 boosters. It's going to be 2 of Masters of Time, 1 of Notorious, and then you build a 400-point team. And then it's 8-person pods playing 3 rounds of Swiss. Battle Royale map rules. Winner gets a Jurassic booster. And then further prizing follows Battle Royale draft-style payout, with 1 additional element added to the pool per player.
Wait a minute, Supercharged Sealed has Battle Royale map rules?
That's what this says here.
I don't think that's right.
I don't think it would be either. That seems silly.
Maybe they're just going to have everybody play on a Battle Royale map?
That's got to be a copy-paste error.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is that it's not. None of that is listed in the the Battle Royale sections.
Yeah, it feels like they're probably just going to. That means that they're just going to play on the small maps. But I would definitely ask for clarification. It feels like we'll get that clarification.
Yeah, we'll bring that up to some people and just have them clarify, because that is a little confusing. When I started reading it, it's like, hold on, that doesn't make any sense for pricing purposes.
It definitely does not make any sense.
But I'm pumped.
Yeah,
Emily, you're going to Worlds? Yay? Nay?
I am, absolutely, and I'm looking forward to playing in one of those super sealed things, because I haven't been at an event that has hosted one of those yet. So
They're very fun.
Do you play in any pulp events, or do you say no to pulp?
So last year I played in it and I lost my first 2 rounds in drops, and I'm undecided if I'm going to play in pulp or if I'm just going to take it as like Battle Royale Day, which I don't usually make the time for. I'm undecided.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my thought. Is like, and the only reason I'm torn on pulp is Alex hasn't built me a pulp team yet.
I'm trying. I'm working on it, man. It's interesting.
So it's like, do I think that I can make top 8 to get a brick with a chance at Ultra Soups or something like that, which I think I can with either your team or Az's team. Whoever wins, I guess, and gives me the team first, I suppose. Or like on Thursday, I guess is my thought, is what I'm trying to say here. On Thursday, I could play in 2 supercharged sealeds. I can get a BR in. I can play 2 supercharged sealeds and a BR and get a bunch of stuff.
And basically treat the BR and the super sealed as sort of prep for
Friday.
Team Worlds the next day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I regretted last year, was doing those first couple rounds of pulp and not playing Battle Royals. I regretted it. So.
Yeah, I'm doing sealed stuff all day that day.
No convincing you to play pulp, Jason?
Nope, I'm doing BRs and whatever. Not playing the pulp.
And for those listening, since we are, which by the way, we are almost 3 weeks away. Like this time in 3 weeks, most of us will be in Memphis.
Yep.
I will be there in 3 weeks right now. I'm coming on Wednesday evening, so.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's 9:47 Central Time, so Jason and the other 3 of us, the total of 5 of us in the truck, we should be awful darn close to there by now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm excited. We will probably, and we probably should, do our like Masters of Time set review in a preparation for like Team Worlds, BRs, just to kind of give everyone, hey, while you're playing, look out and grab these figures, because I know we're gonna see a lot of Masters of Time. Like I'll be playing a lot of Masters of Time. So
yeah. I mean, I think my thought in general is from now to Worlds, we probably got one more show to do next week based on what we see this weekend, and then we could probably do a set review.
Yeah. I think it'd be beneficial not only for them, but for us to just talk through the figures again and be like, oh, yeah.
That's what that does. Okay, well, is there anything else on Worlds we need to talk about, Alex?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was pretty needed, though. So, let's talk with Emily a little bit more about her Canadian Nationals win. One of the few two-time national champions, Canada's only two-time national champion.
Yep.
So, tell us what you played for those folks out there that have not looked on HC units.
Yeah, I worked my hardest to find those builds and send them to Clay because they weren't put up anywhere. So I was feverishly messaging people saying, "Get me this one! I'm still looking for this one. Who's got this one?" And I got them all to Clay, and then he got them up nice and fast. So, but yeah, I was playing Prime Colossus with a motorcycle. I had Kong with Conchu on it, Butterfly, and my potential swaps for Butterfly was Mern, Death Metal Wonder Woman, and Cosmo. I had White Shirt Porter with the yellow ring, Black Shirt Porter. Then I was playing two 10-point Daredevils. One of them had trick arrows, one of them had billy clubs. I also had a Kassan on my sideline that I always put on the Daredevil that had the billy clubs. And the only thing on my sideline that wasn't mentioned in the above was that I had Amit's Tomb. My terrain was a
that dirty piece of cardboard.
that definitely won me games. Yes, that dirty piece of cardboard. My terrain was a traffic barrel, a 1x2 blocking, a 1x3 blocking, and both of those ones were ones that took 4 damage to destroy. And my tarot deck was the Hierophant, Charge +2, Mind Control, Willpower, Perplex +2, and Poison after moving.
The Poison after...
Oh, and my maps.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my maps was Major Brock's Bunker, Bloodstone Maze, and Terra Verde.
Oh, that dirt. Oh, look at there. See? An international event had Major Brock's Bunker. I still don't see why it was banned from Worlds.
Yeah.
You sounded like you were confused about the poison after moving part.
I did. I was just thinking about who had poison on your team, and I guess it was just for the Daredevils.
Yeah, so I had a little thing that I was really, really wanting to pull off. I was making it my mission of the day to try and pull off this Daredevil trick to hopefully, confuse people, but I never had a setup for it. So my goal, I would always put a 2 dangerous in my deck, and my goal was to charge in, hit somebody that had 4 clicks with no reducer at the end, like a Scott, flip 2 dangerous on it, so that it would also flip me, because 2 dangerous doesn't say opposing characters, it just says adjacent characters, and I would be adjacent. And then I would flip my Daredevil to the poison click and finish them off. But I never got to set it up.
Nice. So,
yeah.
So given that, you never got to do that, was there another sword that you think you should have played instead?
No, nothing else that I thought that I would have wanted, but having the poison card in the deck mattered in my top 8 game against Devin. Even though it wasn't the same trick, it was a similar trick that got me there, so.
Gotcha. So what, so y'all had 34 people, you played 5 rounds of Swiss in a top 16?
4 rounds of Swiss in a 16.
Ooh, okay, so even tighter than I thought. What was your overall record in Swiss? and anything in your Swiss games that you would like to point out for the crowd.
Yeah, so my Swiss rounds, I went 3-1, and I would like to point out that my fourth round of Swiss, I was 3-0 going into the fourth round, so I knew that I was going to get in. And in round 4, I faced Gio, who I, spoiler, faced in the finals. And playing him at the last round of Swiss helped me to beat him in the finals. Because he totally wasn't moving out of his starting area. I was reluctant to go up to him and have him just kill whatever. So I moved up Kong just a little bit so that he could overextend but get to him. And he took that bait and went in and killed him. And I lost 0-60 because he killed the Kong with Conchu. But that helped me with knowing what to do in the finals. So.
Gotcha. So 3-1 out of Swiss. Then is that?
I don't feel like you hear that very often. As Kong getting killed by a Conchu.
No, it's the Kong with the Conchu.
Oh, I was sitting there thinking Conchu came out somehow and yeeted a Kong. That's pretty cool. What am I missing?
No, he brought his Colossus over and took my Kong out, and I wasn't able to.
Secret Canadian tech over here, popping out Conchu.
That would be
But I only
nice.
gave up 125 points in all of Swiss.
Wow.
Yeah,
Not bad at all.
and I ended up eighth seed.
Okay.
It's not talked about enough. I feel like the rematch games. I feel like it happens quite often, and it quite often goes in the favor of the person who lost the first time. I feel like most of the games I've seen, that's what ended up happening. They face in Swiss, player A loses, they face again in the finals or semifinals, whatever, and then player A wins that matchup. It's just interesting. It makes sense, but it's just interesting that, I feel like that happens quite often.
Yeah, and I just, knowing that we were both in the cut, I was just okay, let's just see what happens if I do things, right? So, it wasn't like there was something on the line in that game.
Yeah.
Right. So then Swiss. I mean, we're going pretty quick here. We got a bunch of questions for you. So, talk to us about your single elimination rounds then.
Yeah, so top 16, I faced a boy named Zeke, and I'm saying boy because he was 12 years old, and he was the fantastic player. Him and his dad drove from Alberta 40 hours or something. I don't know if you guys watched the Dial H videos where people were submitting their trying to get to Worlds. Zeke and his dad was one of the videos that was trying to be voted on. So, but he is a great player. I mean, he made the cut, right?
Right.
He had a Prime Spidey, Ghost Rider, Double Carnage Surfer team, and this one he brought. I would always get my Amit's Tomb the 6 right away. Bunch of debris everywhere around me, and then he came up and he punched a wall to be able to get to my Daredevils, and then he crime fighted to hit the Daredevils, and he got the 20 points off the Daredevils. And then I went in, and when he got those 20 points, because he was going to be sitting there, I flipped them both to the Poison Click. And I went in, mind controlled with Colossus. He did not get his super senses. So the after resolutions damage put him right onto the senses clicks, and then with the Amit's Tomb extra damage, double poison, took out Spidey on turn 2. So it was an uphill battle for him, but we went to time. He fought it out, and we went to time, and I didn't get his whole team, so 205-20.
Man, it feels like the obvious advice there after hearing that is like, don't go in if the only thing you can get is the 20 point of Daredevils. Maybe if they don't roll their senses.
Yes.
So, yeah, little man. I don't know, I shouldn't say little man. That feels.
I mean, I'm proud of him. He played amazing.
Yeah.
He played amazing. He knew the rules like fantastically. It was great.
Yeah, that's good. That's always good to hear. But it's like, don't go in if the only thing you can get is something that may roll out. So top 8.
Top 8. So we knew who we were going to be potentially facing because Lucas like had filled out like the whole bracket, so we all knew. And I knew that if I won, that I was likely facing Devin, and that's what happened. I faced my teammate Devin, and in playtesting, he almost always beat me. There was one time in playtesting that I actually beat him, but the rest of the times, like his team was stronger than me. So he was playing Prime Wonder Woman with the utility belt and the Green Lantern ring, Myrn with trick arrows, Calendar Man with pumpkin bombs, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, both porters, yellow ring on the white shirt, and Moonstone with Conchu. So he had a very unique team, for sure.
But, so just to be clear, Calendar Man isn't good in September, right?
Yeah, he's good in August. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great in August, but yeah, and not so good in September. We played on the bunker. He went first, put himself on the higher elevation side, and he did what his team is meant to do, and it was even better because he flipped his Psychic Blast card on turn 2. He shields Wonder Woman up to 6 damage. He brought Calendar Man up to say no impervious, and he running shot in with Wonder Woman to take out both my Kong and my white shirt. I use my Wonder Woman's revive to keep white shirt alive, and then he groups up like super defensively. Like my only valid target is one of his Scots, and I need like 9s or something to hit, but I still go in and try. He tells me like after this game that he really should have put like a stop sign there to stop me from being able to come in so much, but I went in with Colossus. I tried. I failed. I went in with a Daredevil. I tried. I failed. Then he blew up a piece of blocking positioned to go after Colossus. And he, like, one turn took him out. So I'm down my Kong. I'm down my Colossus. Lucas looks over at us and he's like giving me a consoling look. He could tell that, like, this is Devin's game to win. But then everything turns around. So I start my next turn, and don't I flip that frickin' poison card that I have been wanting all along. So I went in with my Daredevil that had Kassan on it that was already damaged from having moved to break stuff for Amit's Tomb. And so when I charged him with Daredevil, I missed the attack, whatever, doesn't matter. I flip him to the poison, click. And then I TK in white shirt, who can totally see his whole team. And I hit the whole team with Scott's Pulse Wave, dealing extra damage because of the tomb. And both of us screwed up here because when he was clicking the damage, he was taking extra damage for the tomb for knockback, but it doesn't apply on knockback. So he really should have had Black Shirt Porter on last click still and Calendar Man on last click still, but I mean, nothing we can do about it now. We both completely missed it. But the important part is that I hit the Wonder Woman as well, because I had hit the whole team, and she would legitimately be on the click she was on. So because I had hit her to, like, almost dead, having that Daredevil next to her with the poison now was able to poison her to death because she only has senses on those last clicks. So I took the Wonder Woman out, which was crazy. So from there, he was like very much on tilt. He tried to do what he could do. He brought out a war machine when the white shirt got hurt and stuff, and then he was able to take out my white shirt with his white shirt because he pulse wave, but he had Kassan on his white shirt, which means, and it was on last click, which means he also killed his own white shirt.
Oh my god!
And then, and then at the end, I send in my Wonder Woman, because I still had Black Shirt and Wonder Woman, and so I TK in Wonder Woman because he only now has Scrappy, War Machine, and I think Valentina on the board. Maybe Myrn very, very hurt, but it's like not very much damage doing. So I put Wonder Woman in, I try and make an attack, I miss, and then he goes after to attack her, and then he hits, but it's doing double mystic damage because of the tomb and KOs it. And then it puts me on that fantastic soft click where if he misses me, he's going to be taking double damage. If he hits me, he's going to be taking double damage, and that's what happened. His team is gone, and I win. Somehow.
Wow.
It was nutty. It was so nutty. Yeah.
Wow. That is quite the game.
Yeah, very much. It was not my game to win. That should have been Devin's game. When I'm, like, losing both Colossus and Kong within 2 turns, like, that's not my game. Yeah.
I had a similar turnaround in top 8 of Nationals, so...
You did.
I did. I feel you there. So top 4.
Top 4. I got to face Lucas, who really thought he was going to be facing Devin, but
America's only hope at this point.
America's only hope. we had. I want to say four Americans show up.
Well, at this point, he's America's only hope because he's the last one, right?
Correct. He was playing a funky team of Titania with 2 Kongs. One had Khonshu, one had Amit. He had Kevin with Towerettes, both porters, yellow ring on white shirt. And yeah, we played on the bunker. I went first, did my usual stuff with the Daredevils, getting the Amit's tomb up. He got his tomb to 8 with both Kongs, because he had less figures than me, so he could do the double action with both of them. One of his Kongs also picked up the barrel, so it made it a little more difficult for me to actually get in. But I saw a play that I could, like, get around and still be able to get Colossus in for a mind control. So I first moved up Scott so that I would have a prob in place. And then I went and I mind controlled his Kong. And I used that Kong to take out his white shirt. And then I said, okay, after resolutions, damage, you're on debris, your Kong is KO'd. And he was like, wait, what? It didn't click in his head until that moment that Amit's tomb is giving me an extra damage, so I'm going to go past your soft click and actually take Kong out, and he's not going to be alive. So that was a that was a moment. So now his white shirt's out and he's down a Kong. So I had Colossus now, like, in his area. So he's got, like, Titania and a Kong and a black shirt, and a Kevin still there. He comes in with Titania to hit my Colossus to try and get a copyright token on him. And I hit my super senses from the bike, because I have the bike on senses. Then he uses his black shirt to re-roll my senses, and I successfully get my senses again. Then he uses Kevin's re-roll of a Marvel character die to re-roll my senses, and I successfully get my senses again. So 3 successful senses rolls in a row. Keep my Colossus alive. Which is, like, completely crazy. I don't know how that happened.
That's one of those instances where, like, you want to celebrate, but you're like, man, I know part of this is me being lucky. So you're like, I would absolutely celebrate that. But it's like a concealed, like, maybe under the table fist bump.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or in my in my situation, I had to say, Lucas, I'm sorry that you just rolled 3 critical misses, but I need to take my turn, please.
Yeah, well, there's some ones coming up in this little story still too. So I went after Titania with Colossus because I didn't want to break away from her now, so I mind controlled her, and then I used her to take out his Blackster, and then the after resolution stammer put her to second last click. And then he flips his Hanged Man on the next turn, and he decides to hang Titania so that he can do like extra damage to my Colossus. But before he attacks with her, he's rolling willpower for his Kong. Doesn't he roll 2 1s on his Kong and can't clear his Kong?
Oof.
So he was successful with hitting me with Titania, but it didn't take me out, and he now didn't have a Kong to finish Colossus off. So I finish off Titania the next turn, and Lucas is down to just the Kong and Kevin, and we had a whole bunch of back and forth type turns where we were attacking, but nothing was really happening, and then I eventually got him out and won 300 to 190. But in this game, like, we realized that I was missing doing some healing, and he missed doing some poisoning, and yeah.
Wow.
He had some very unlucky rolls, and I had some very lucky rolls.
That's HeroClix.
That's HeroClix. It's a dice game.
Indeed. So at this point, you're heading into finals, and Geo, you know that you're going to face Geo, and Geo has the unfortunate position of either winning or being the bridesmaid once again this year.
Yes, because you remembered that last year he was second place.
Yes, and I guess spoiler alert, you're on the show and not Geo, so but you have a fairly even matchup here, I think. You're both playing Colossus. I think what I would like to hear, Emily, is did Geo use Killmonger effectively? Did it even matter? And
he did not.
Okay.
Not one bit. Not one bit. So what I learned from the last time, from the Swiss round, is that I needed to be extra defensive. So this game, he actually made a butterfly against me. And I actually didn't make a butterfly in any single game because I wasn't wanting to up my people count against other Kongs, right? So he made one against me and made us even. He didn't want to make more than one so that I could double act with Kong.
Right.
But he made one, and he had to like very carefully get that butterfly over to my team because of my barrel was making it really hard. It couldn't fly over walls. So he had to use his Death Metal Wonder Woman to bust a wall for a way for the butterfly to get through. So he actually had to put Wonder Woman forward a little bit. But he made his way to mind control, the only thing he could mind control, which was a Daredevil. His mind control card was up, and the only thing that he could really hit with the Daredevil was my other Daredevil, because otherwise he was going to be hitting Kong, which wouldn't matter, Colossus, which wouldn't matter, wouldn't be getting a point. So he goes after my Daredevil. I get senses, but he still gets 10 points off me because the after resolution damage from the mind control card being up. So he gets 10 points.
You hit senses?
On the other Daredevil.
Oh.
He successfully mind controlled me,
Gotcha.
and then the other Daredevil was trying to attack Daredevil with Daredevil.
I'm tracking now.
So then, my next turn, I actually punch another wall to make my Amit's Tomb up to 8, which I didn't do very often in any of the games, and KO'd the butterfly to even up the score. And he forgot about that. I didn't see that coming, so that made him on edge a little bit. So I then started making my own butterflies. So this is the only game I made butterflies in. I made a butterfly, sent it out to the Wonder Woman that's now the middle of the map, and I used the Wonder Woman to send it back to his team to try and like hit a Scott. which I was unsuccessful with, but whatever. I was nervous to bring her into my area in case she got massive census rolls and then could, like, go through and take out my stuff, so I wanted her far away. So then I made another butterfly, moved it up towards the center, and then he was scared that I had a butterfly there, so he brought Colossus in to take out that butterfly. So then next turn I bring another butterfly out to mind control his Colossus, and I got it successfully, and I brought it back to his team to again try and take out a Scott, and again I missed. And we're sitting here at 10-10, and I'm terrified to move out of my starting area at all, because I know when in the Swiss rounds, as soon as I moved anything out, I lost. So I in my head was ready to go to a 10-10 roll-off, because I was like, I'm not moving anything out. Well, doesn't he, a few minutes before the game's going to end, he's like, okay, YOLO, I'm sending Colossus in, I'm going to try and get something out. So he sends Colossus over to my team. And he hits my Daredevil. I don't think he did anything. Because again, he can only be hitting Daredevils with how I'm set up. So I mind control him, dealing extra damage with Amit's Tomb, and then I Pulse Wave with Scott, doing 3 more. We did the knockback thing correctly this time. He didn't take 4, he took 3. And then I hit with Kong to KO him, because he did not get his Imperv roll. He revived with Butterfly. Then I used my Daredevil that had Kassan on it, so that it was doing extra damage. Hit him one last time. He again misses his Imperv. He's clicking his dial to KO just as last action gets called, and I score his Colossus.
Wow.
That was definitely a YOLO.
That was a YOLO, and he missed his rolls, and yeah. I had enough damage to get through him.
Wow. What, that's intense.
Yeah. It sure was.
Jeez.
Well, that's really tight. Man, I'm really surprised he didn't have a better formation as far as moving out to stay around Killmonger in advance.
Yeah, no, he stayed along the back wall the whole time.
Yeah.
Other than bringing the Colossus and Wonder Woman out to do their thing.
Right. Which is...
and he stopped making butterflies. He didn't make any more butterflies for me to get points off of.
Sure. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess
and he didn't have
good for you,
too,
right?
So I could make all the butterflies. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, good for you. Good for you that he didn't make all those... Didn't have an advancement plan to stay around King K.
Yeah.
But of course your Kong wasn't equipped either. So, I mean, that makes a big difference.
No, correct.
Yeah.
And neither was Wonder Woman.
That's true. But, I'm not... I don't know. I guess I'm not particularly scared of Wonder Woman in general.
Famous last words.
I don't think so. Yeah. I think I've played against Wonder Woman quite a bit the past couple of years. Only when Jason wants to play 6 of her does it matter.
I never wanted to play 6 of her. That was some stupid bullshit y'all came up with.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Jason.
Yeah, well, it's on a podcast previous. Go back and listen to it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Old Jason wanting to play 6 of one figure.
I wanted to play 2 Wonder Woman, so it's not so bad.
Oh gosh. Well.
So Emily.
Yeah, go ahead.
You don't have to go into too much detail if you're trying to keep, things under wraps. But obviously, your winning team has quite a bit of changes going into Worlds because, there's been quite a few changes to the pieces on your team.
Not a ton.
No,
I can't use Bunker. I can't use Amit, and the Colossus is hurt by bigger figures. Or not Colossus, Kong. The Kong is hurt by bigger figures.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is fine.
Don't scare me, Emily. Don't start saying Colossus is hurt by bigger figures. No, I'm gonna have to rethink everything. So is does the Kong changes? Does that make you think? Well, maybe not Kong this go around.
Possibly. I'm definitely going to be doing some testing and seeing what to maybe change.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially. And it could be the Kong. It could be maybe to play either Myrn or Wonder Woman main force instead. Maybe. Just a thought.
Interesting.
Or maybe MOE.
Everybody
all previous versions. So, like, I tweaked this so many times with so many different versions of what was that 50 points, right?
Right.
So
Makes sense.
I may try some of those previous things and see what they look like.
Well, you got 3 weeks.
I do.
I think my thoughts are, and I was just talking about this in the patron chat today, and Az disagreed with me. I don't know. I can't see equipping Colossus and making it through, like equipping Colossus or equipping Camo and being able to just make it through all of Worlds doing that. Like, you'll just is the thought that, like, you'll just never face anybody who knows how to play their MOE effectively. Is that worth the risk for a 50-50 rollout?
You said Camo or who else?
Colossus.
I mean, the caveat for both of them, I think, is the fact that they both have super strength, so that at least helps.
I mean, sure.
That's just where you get into some, like, terrain marker shenanigans.
Yeah, but that's
so... Which people have often forgot about.
I mean, that's so finicky, though. Right? Like, that means, like, do you go first? Do you go second? Does it matter that you've done this or do that, right? And it's just like, oh my gosh, there's just so much if, ands, or buts, or chicken whats that, like, I don't know that it's reliable enough. I don't think that it's reliable enough for me. So, Emily, talk to us. What did you always keep your Colossus on the charge super senses click?
I did, which is like, okay, so I made some really strange decisions because in playtesting, I brought in Myrn more than Wonder Woman. But to be fair, I had Wonder Woman main force, no Butterfly, before US Nats. Once I saw US Nats with Myrn is when I swapped into Butterfly to have the option. So in playtesting, I was playing a lot of Myrn. And then the day of, I decided to do Wonder Woman every single round. And same thing with my motorcycle. In playtesting, I was putting it on the Free Move 1 Improved Characters Reflex system. And then at the actual event, I switched it and put it on the Super Senses click every single turn. And if I knew I was going to do that, I would have taken the +2 charge card out of my tarot deck. But
right.
But it ended up paying off because, so in playtesting, like, it was like 50-50. I would lose all the time. And I was playing it a lot more aggressively. So that morning I decided, you know what, I think I want to try playing this more defensively. And I started bringing in Wonder Woman to try and keep a Porter alive. And brought in and put it on the Senses click for the rollout. And made them come to me with my Daredevil body blocking stuff. And it worked.
Right. Yeah. Was there ever a time you thought about bringing in Cosmo?
No, Cosmo was there in case I was facing a one-man army if somebody brought like a Phoenix Wolverine or something.
Poor
help
Phoenix,
there.
Poor Phoenix Wolverine. All right, well, let's get to some of the questions that folks have for you. So Aaron Morgan's question, we actually just talked about that. What figures are you looking out for Worlds now that the watch list has dropped? Any other figures that you want to highlight? I know that we talked about that ourselves in the last podcast.
Me personally, no. I'm probably focusing around Colossus still. I honestly, my brain needs to stay in one place. So my brain is being in Canadian Nats world, and I needed this to finish before thinking about that. And I still haven't flipped to World's brain yet fully because I want to finish my blog post. I want to finish being on people who have asked me to be on podcasts and stuff, and I don't want to my brain can be a siphon and just stuff will come out of it if I think of too many different things.
Yeah, I get you. Dan Smith wants to know, what was the toughest matchup of the day?
Devin, definitely Devin.
And then
losing Kong and Colossus.
And then coming back.
Yeah.
What team did you play against that you didn't see coming?
Lucas's Titania. I wasn't expecting to see a Titania there.
Yeah, I did have a thought on Lucas's team that he took, and additionally, I had this thought of Lucas's team after this weekend, and then I had a similar thought with Patrick's team that he played at U.S. Nationals. Now, a lot of things have changed on Pat's team, especially with time breakers. So, Pegasus Cap is unplayable almost because it can't get anywhere. I guess Falcon is about the only way it gets somewhere. Or it's Falcon standard. Well, Bucky or Cap is standard. Anyways, Lucas's team and Pat's team were set up to be Kong killers. And there's just flat out other good things pre-watch list than Kong. And I think making a call to lean in to be having a Kong killer team is just the wrong call. Now, that's obviously the wrong call going into Worlds, because we've got a whole new world of possibilities here that we'll see flesh out this upcoming weekend. But, you can't... Maybe. I think we will.
I'm intrigued, because,
Well, I think... Well, I have one more quick thought there.
Oh, yeah, finish your thought and then we can talk about it.
My other thought is, Lucas's team did nothing against Colossus. And, as far as the copyright token things, right? Colossus still got to do all of his cool shit. And, coming out of US Nats, I think the biggest thing was Colossus was the sleeper pick out of US Nats had Lucas just not had a extremely bad case of luck. And, you lean into Colossus, you probably don't lean into Kong. You need to make sure that you have a Colossus killer. As far as building a well-rounded team is concerned. Anyways,
that makes sense.
That's my narrative on trying to lean into the meta and lean into the curve. Is you can't focus on one thing. You have to build a super well-rounded team to make it work. What were you going to say, Alex?
So I'm curious about your thoughts going into this weekend, because I know there are other national tournaments, but I feel like the Champion Clix event is going to be the first really significant look at what is possible at Worlds. Post, all the erratas and stuff like that. I'm sure everyone's planning on bringing their A game, but I'm also curious of how many people are maybe not necessarily bringing the A game, if that makes sense. How many people are using this to test out and feel out the meta as people typically do, and maybe you guys that are going have the potential to almost, I won't say set a fake meta, but technically you could. I mean, technically you could bring some really weird teams that just is pretty good, win with it, and everyone's like, oh yeah, this is it going into Worlds, baby. We're going against a Falcon team or something. I don't know. It's just interesting because there's not a lot of time to Worlds, and we have so few tournaments. It is a wild west. I think it's very interesting.
I mean, that was Ivies, right? Like, everybody was terrified of Ivies after that, but then nobody played it. Like, I know I initially started building my team because of Ivies. I was like, what reduces pen? Okay, Colossus. Okay, Kong. Okay, MOE with Inquisitor. This is what I'm starting with because I'm scared to face Ivies. That's how this team started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. And I think the large maps shut down Ivy enough. Just going to the small maps. But I think we could see at Worlds Man-Thing Ivies. But I think I talked about that last episode. But yeah, I get that. I will say personally this weekend, and I know Jason is as well, we are not planning on playing a fake team. And Az isn't either. Az is planning on playing. No. Az is planning on playing his team that he thinks could do well at Worlds. Now, we might get there Saturday and to just be awful for whatever reason or another.
Yeah.
But, I mean, my full intention is to play the team that I think will do well in Memphis next weekend.
Sure. Yeah, all I'm saying is that the potential is there that it could be interesting. Because you would also think, even whatever you're playing, people are going to then say, okay, I need to know how to counter that for Worlds. And, of course, you guys would make adjustments. And,
I mean, if you're going to experiment, now's the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just, it's just interesting to think about.
But there'll be some weird stuff, I think. If you're gonna try it out, the stakes aren't that high right now. Try it out now before,
right?
At the World's Championship.
All right. And then Dan, is there anything that you did wrong in any of your games?
Yep, there sure was. I don't think I remembered even once in any game that I heal from my Amit's Tomb if something dies. And I know I missed some black shirt heals, for sure. So, yeah, healing. Forgetting healing was a big one.
Yeah. Yeah, Amit's Tomb is a big deal for that. And this is a question that I'm particularly interested in because I was not able to do this a couple of years ago on vacation. How did you survive the Ferris wheel?
So, me, Dan, and Jay went up a day early and we went to explore Old Montreal and just took an actual vacation day. And in Old Montreal, there's this big Ferris wheel, and we were all like, yeah, we'd like to do it, but Dan and I are looking at each other and we're both kind of scared of heights, and we're like, yeah, we want to do this, but we're terrified to do this. So we both decided to just step out of our comfort zone and just get on and just do it. And then Jay tried standing up, and we freaked out on him and made him sit back down, and we survived.
Yeah. The Ferris wheel that I tried to go on, I was not successful. I paid for the ticket, and then I got to the little carriage, and I realized that I wasn't going to be able to set up straight in it, and it was a little too small, and I freaked out and noped out at the last second. I was not able to do it.
Yeah, this was big, and it was completely enclosed in glass, and I think that was one of the reasons I was able to do it, because it wasn't an open one. So.
Yep. So Anthony has a bunch of questions here. How did the venue compare to previous years?
So this year it was at a hotel, which is better because last year he did it in the store and it was kind of cramped. So it was nice to have, all tables that were sitting, because in the store he has a couple tables that are like standing only.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember last year he had like 1, 2, 3, and 4 at the standing tables, and like me and Isaac, and there was a couple of us that were like always at those tables, and I eventually looked at him and I was like, yeah, you need to change these table numbers around so that top table isn't standing the whole day. Maybe put the middle ones there because they're moving around more. So he remembered to do that this year on the second day, because the second day was actually in the store, not at the hotel. But I like when a event is in a hotel and you can stay in the hotel that the event is at. It's my favorite.
Yes. I think it'd also be nice, like at Worlds, if there was like a walkway or a tram of some sort that went from the hotel to the convention center.
I mean, there's the bus that takes you over.
Yeah, but that's not like convenient enough. Like I'm thinking like People Mover style, like from Disney World. Like it's just a continuous circle.
Gotcha.
Like you just get on,
Yeah.
go over there, circles back around, goes around, and you don't have to deal with stoplights, you don't have to deal with traffic, you just people move in a big circle. Or even just a back and forth train would be fine. Anyways. So this is a question that I don't know that anybody can answer on here, is how does it compare to competing in U.S. Nationals? And
I mean, I've been to U.S. Nationals in the past. It's been a few years since I've gone, but I'm going to say I like it better because we had just like regular Swiss rounds and not pod play.
yeah.
That's a definite advantage.
A little bit.
Yeah.
When did you come to U.S. Nats? Am I just forgetting that?
Before COVID.
Oh, okay. Well, when it was before COVID, at Origins, they had Swiss rounds. So 2019.
Yes, it was Swiss rounds when I went.
Yeah, so 2019.
She's just saying now.
Gotcha.
For,
Okay. Gotcha.
For the current ones, in comparison, you guys having pod play the way you do doesn't encourage me to want to go.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. It doesn't encourage any of us to want to go either, but we still go.
Yeah, we're just glutton for punishment.
Yeah. What did they use for matchmaking software at Canadian Nets?
They used the win for the Swiss rounds, and then they put the top into the win as single elim, but it wasn't seating properly, so we basically just did it manually.
Yeah, if they don't.
But then he put it in, so it's in there. But
yeah, if you don't do the top cut in the same event, if you start a new event, it doesn't work right.
Yeah.
So I think the answer is really, Anthony, have you... Yeah, Emily, I don't think you've been in the States this year with Norm software.
Not with Norms, no, but I was at the Rock Cup with the Best Coast Pairings one.
And which one did
that
you like?
It's called Best Coast?
Yeah, what did you like better?
Best Coast is great. Like I like that you can just put your score in at the table with your opponent, and it's in there, and you can find your pairings in the app. Like it's so much better. Like we didn't even have a printer at the event, so the tournament organizer was like calling out names of who was going to what table.
Yeah. Yeah, putting it in from your phone is definitely way better. And then Jeremy Stallings wants to know, have anybody of your local had any distribution issues, given that you're in Canada?
For us, my local store is typically okay. We get things pretty much on time to when you guys get stuff on. Sometimes we might have a week delay or something. We have had the odd time where like something just gets completely skipped and we don't get it for a while, but it's not that often. our bigger issue is that so many stores have closed and we don't have all that many places to play, so getting OP stuff is hard because
Right.
you're not right. Like there's such few opportunities to win OP stuff.
Yeah, and we were just talking about that on the pre-show here, is that like all of these maps, the paper maps, they're all in the OP kit, the good ones. So like getting release day kits and OP kits is super relevant because that's where all the good stuff is apparently at. So yeah, you got to have more stores to get that, because a lot of times they don't let stores order more than 1, 2, or 3 of something or another, which may not be enough.
Yeah, he's been trying to get 2 of them lately, but it's not always. So
right. Paul Cote, do you watch Game of Thrones?
I have. Yeah, I have. It's been a long time, but I have.
I suppose that's like he's making sure that you understand the reference Queen of the North.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Absolutely.
I suppose if that wasn't obvious enough for everybody. How quickly were you getting a Mutt's Tomb powered up? So can you walk us through kind of your first turn that you get a Mutt's Tomb to 6?
Yep. So I put both of my Daredevils on the charge click, and both of them either charged and punched a wall or charged and quaked. And same thing with Kong, and I had it at 6 first turn every game.
Yeah. The old charge, do a destroy action of some sort thing.
Yep.
That sounds a little overpowered. They need to do something about that.
Yeah.
And the fun part is that with having the Kassan on one of my Daredevils, when I was doing that, I was giving him a click, and it was putting him on perplex, and it was giving me an extra perplex for my team at the same time. That was fun.
See, I told the guys that would be that was a good idea.
And then if I needed to do something with him, and nobody else was hurt, I could just black shirt heal him, and then he could just do it all over.
Yeah. I think that's totally just worth it. All right. Why Butterfly and Wonder Woman over Myrn? And did the Myrn option ever change people's map selection?
I'm going to start with the second half first. I don't think people even paid all that much attention to what my Butterfly options were. I don't think nobody made mention over that, and a lot of people just were choosing to go first and letting me take them to bunker, which surprised me. And Butterflying and Wonder Woman was me trying to be more defensive so that I could, because everybody was trying to go after the Scots first because there's the easiest kill, and if Blackshirt still had tokens on him, I wanted to try and keep him alive, and keeping that pulse wave alive is always good. But also, using Wonder Woman off Butterfly is like giving her a second stop click, because she's not dead when so first she's gonna, if she hasn't revived anybody else, she's gonna revive herself, or she's gonna go to stop, and then she's gonna revive herself, and then she's gonna turn into a butterfly. So it's giving, she's staying alive forever.
Butterfly is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to end up being one of the most played pieces at Worlds.
I tend to agree with you.
Yeah,
It's too flexible to not play it. It almost every scenario where you're playing Myrn, you've got to consider, do I have 10 points to play Butterfly instead, even if I'm playing Myrn 98% of the time? Because there might be that 2% where you're like, oh, I would rather have the Wonder Woman, or I would rather have Carnage Silver Surfer or something instead. It may be few and far between, but if you could spare that 10 points, feel like it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I had to have most of my options for Butterfly be somebody with leadership, because I didn't have leadership main force. So that was a big consideration for me.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, and you can butterfly in a Killmonger if you really wanted to. That doesn't give you the leadership. That doesn't give you the leadership, and you can't swap out unless you know.
If you want to, if you swap out, you lose the butterfly.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, if you can't build MOE and if you're not thinking about swapping MOE and you're just like, oh, in this matchup, everyone's equipped, I really need a Killmonger, just plain old Killmonger. You could technically do that with a butterfly.
Yep.
So Jocelyn is handing out some high fives, and Team Calm Your Clicks is ready to take Team Worlds by storm in Memphis. So Emily,
can I shout out my ladies? Yeah, can I shout out my ladies? Because Jocelyn
absolutely
came 18th.
Yep.
She came 18th, so she was in the top half. Asia made top 8. We had 3 women in the top half, 2 women in the top 8. That is freaking phenomenal.
It is. My question for you, though, Emily, are you going to be B again?
I have no idea.
Why are you asking, Dan? Why are you asking this?
Because
that's a great question.
Emily knows why I'm asking.
I think I was C last time. I think we did Asia and A because her name starts with A, and then I think Jocelyn was B because her last name starts with a B, and they put me in C for champ. I think that's how we did it last year.
No, we played last year. I was in B.
I played Jocelyn. I think I was A.
You were last year. I definitely played you, and I was pretty sure I was B. Now
I played Jocelyn. I remember.
I don't remember playing Asia though. Did I?
You did because we played them.
Well, yeah.
And I played Jocelyn. I definitely remember playing Emily because her robot dude, I mind controlled it, and then she didn't. I was going to have to roll breakaway, and I was like, "Oh look, he shoots out of adjacency," and I was like, "I'll just shoot before I roll breakaway," and I did that.
Yep.
So I don't know. As Jason reminds me every week, I am not playing with Jason and Alex this year, so that they have a better chance of winning.
I hate when you say that because that's totally not the reasoning behind all that.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
You know what?
You hooked yourself to the former Team World Champions to try to get your ass in the top 16. Is what you did. So don't give me this line of bullshit.
I was holding y'all back, Alex and Jason. I was holding y'all back.
Maybe you are holding us back. Exactly. I know what you did. Don't lie to me.
I'm not lying to you.
Pushing a certain narrative over there. I'm seeing.
Yeah, he's pushing a narrative already.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. When if you guys meet us in the finals, then you know that you were there because
your plan worked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you meet us in the finals, us being as TJ and myself, then you know that my plan worked because I got you. I left you guys, and then you guys got to the finals. It totally makes sense.
Here's what I know. Your plan had nothing to do with the two of us. That's all I know.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! All right.
Betrayed.
I would say, Peter, I appreciate your well thought out question. We mentioned Space Ghost earlier. None of us have thought about post rotation.
No, not at all.
Alex may have, but
I don't think I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I would totally play Amazons if it was legal.
I mean, I've thought enough about it I can't wait because I want Masters of Time to be legal. I've thought of it that far.
Yeah.
But not much more than that.
Right. Cal Bouchon, you answered his first part of this question. Most difficult was your plan to do better than the previous year. I don't mean to gloss over that, but I would assume, Emily, your plan is to do better than you did last year because you didn't win last year, so your plan was to do better than that, right?
Always. My plan is to always do the best that I can and have the most fun that I can. So I was successful in that, because last year Caleb knocked me out of top 8, and he took the event. So, yeah, I did better than last year.
Yeah. I would say that has also definitely been my motto this year, is to do the best I can and to have fun. And that motto has treated me well this year. So
it's always a good plan.
Emily, how do you feel about Silver Age? Writes in McConnell.
It's okay. I much prefer modern, but I loved going to the Rock Cup and the energy and the experience there, so my brain goes to silver when I need to.
Nicole Riviera, and you know what? She has she asked here, what is your favorite Clix memory versus your worst? I'm not going to ask you your worst because it's towards the end of the show, and in general, we don't want a negative thought. So let's end on.
I have a little worst that's like an easy small one.
Easy small one. Okay, as long as it's nothing too heavy. So
no, just
okay.
I just remember playing in an event where somebody had a figure that had an errata on it, and I was kind of a little bit newer to competitive scene, and I didn't know what the figure did, and I asked them what the figure did, and they handed me the card without the errata, and I was a little upset after. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well,
but my favorite...
now you can't mention that. Like,
why?
No, because that's a cliffhanger. Like, what was
a cliffhanger?
Can you tell us at least?
It was first round.
What can you tell us what the figure was?
I can't even remember what the figure was. It was a thing that made pogs, but I don't remember what the figure was.
And how long? And you've been playing since when?
I've been playing for 10 years.
Everyone listening's running to HC units and screaming.
I know.
At the podcast.
I'm thinking about what was it? Was it in a constructed event? And was it? You remember when?
It was constructed. We had traveled to somewhere in Michigan. I can't remember. I honestly can't. I'm so terrible with with specific details of stuff, which is why I blog, so that I can make notes of things to remember things.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not going to ask you to name it, but do you remember who it was?
Yes, but I will not name it.
Okay, that's fine. All right. You're on the list. Nameless person.
Oh no, we've settled up. We're cool.
Okay. All right. Well, they probably knew better. Did they know better?
Probably.
Okay, good.
Maybe.
All right.
Probably.
That's it. All right. All right. Well, that was an intriguing one. What's your best favorite Clix memory? And obviously, okay,
I'm not going to say winning. I'm not going to say winning.
What's your third favorite Clix memory?
My third favorite Clix memory was Worlds, the Thanos year Worlds, where I made the top 32 for the first time. I made the cut for the first time. I lost in top 32 to Caleb, losing to Caleb again, in a mirror match where we were both playing the same thing, and my tarot card helped him win because he got his senses on his collector when I didn't. Because we were literally trading pieces back and forth, and it was such a fun game, but I was just so excited to have been in the top 32, to have actually made the cut. And then I remember a podcaster was speaking, saying that they were watching me play, and they were just loving how defensive I was being with my barrier, and how the whole checkerboard set up, and how I was doing an amazing job of that kind of thing, and that made me feel awesome.
Are you happy or sad that you don't have to play a bunch of barrier right now?
Happy.
Why?
Well, it was nice having you on, Emily. It was.
I'm happy that I don't have to play Barrier. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm glad I'm not playing Barrier.
Yeah,
You want me to be playing Barrier?
No.
I want to play Barrier.
I have gone on the record multiple times saying that I do not want to play Barrier. I had much rather go Smash in the middle, but but there's too many times the past 3 years that playing an obscene amount of Barrier has been the only way to possibly survive.
And it's funny how you say wanting to go Smash in the middle, and that's playing that last game against Geo was so uncomfortable for me, staying back and like trying to make him come out. It was so uncomfortable for me to not go out and try and do things, but I knew if I did, I was going to lose.
Right. On a scale of 1 to 10, how fun was your game versus Geo in the finals?
This is perfect timing. So I had a blast. Like, obviously, like you have a blast playing, but so a 10 for enjoyment, but like a 3 for uncomfortableness.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, we always enjoy having you on, Emily. And I think the Sudden Death crew is going to try to get Geo on.
I'm sure he would love that
if they can get it pulled together. So they're the second place show. Is what Sam has been telling me about. So, final thoughts. Anything else we want to cover today before we go to final thoughts?
I don't think so.
Nope.
All right. Final thoughts, Alex.
I'm just gonna keep saying this until Worlds. I can't wait for Worlds.
Okay. Final thoughts, Jason.
I'm excited for Saturday and see what kind of crazy teams come out.
Do you want to say what you're playing for Saturday?
I'm not completely, totally, positively sure, so no.
Do you want to mention your 2 choices? Because I'll say mine. I'll go ahead and say I'll say mine after we let Emily go.
My 2 choices are either going to be Phoenix Sentinel, Carnage Surfer, or Triple Ghost Rider.
Triple Ghost Rider. One of us has got to do it at some point.
Yeah, I guess. I guess we should.
I mean, Madam Web retires, right?
She does. Yep.
So we have to. We almost have to.
Now is the time.
Golly, I just don't know if I can deal with that 11 attack all day. I guess the big deal is like on that team you can just do the vengeance thing or the penance stare, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, what is that? The Stuntman of Justice. So if you hit, you hit. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, it's just numbers on them. If no problem, no re-rolling it, just go.
Yep. And if you don't play,
how confident are you?
If you don't play Conchu, it's just that over and over again. It's just every attack, Stuntman of Justice, Stuntman of Justice.
This sounds like such a thrilling game.
You get to just make 3 attacks a turn, every turn almost. Stuntman of Justice, Stuntman of Justice, Stuntman of Justice.
You get to have all your powers all the time, Alex.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, Colossus comes in to mind control you. Shape change.
4/3/6 super senses. Right. Let's go.
Just don't miss them. All right.
He still gets around the Battle Fury, though. So, I mean...
Say what now?
Colossus would still get around the Battle Fury, though.
No.
He's
No. You get to roll your shape change into Battle Fury with Ghost Rider.
No. What I'm saying is like he could still mind control someone with Battle Fury.
Yeah.
Like you would still get shape change and stuff. I'm saying like Ghost Rider doesn't protect to say, well, I've got Battle Fury, so I can use Battle Fury, and that negates Colossus's.
Yeah.
Go through that. Like, so Colossus still has an angle, but yes, you're right. It's not a. It's not. I don't know. It's not as bad as it sounds.
Well, you get to roll shape change into Colossus. I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's all that matters. All right, Emily, final thoughts.
I guess I just want to throw out thanking my playtest buddies for helping me get all the reps in and tweaking ideas, and even all my Clix friends that I message for thoughts and ideas, and couldn't have done it without friends helping.
That's what this is all about. HeroClix is all about the community. So thanks everybody for listening to Clixed Off today. Like I said, probably going to do an episode recapping this upcoming weekend, and then I think there's one the 31st as well. So maybe just one more meta episode before Worlds, and then a set review from Masters of Time. So thanks everybody for listening to Clixed Off today. We'll talk to y'all next time.
Later.
See ya.